So what are your thoughts on the way that social media has impacted people's personal identity?
I feel like a lot of people think they know who they are, or like to think they know they are, but most of us don't. I feel like social media lets us attach onto something so hard. It's so easy to just, it's right there. Anytime you want it, it's right there. It's also hurt our brains with our dopamine receptors. It's a lot of life has been dull.
The way I see it, I keep on moving more and more towards this view that social media is only at this point, and probably going forward, a part in our lives to hurt our goals and what we really want in life. I feel like having that just kind of delays what you really want. And I feel like trying to please other people, just putting any thought into it at all, it's just destructive.
Yeah. And I feel like these people with millions and billions of dollars, like Elon Musk, who has X, or what should be still Twitter, he's turning that whole platform into a cesspit.
Yeah. And existentialism kind of states that you have to make your own guide through life, that you have to make your own plan, your own goals, your own beliefs, all that. And whenever so much of the youth turns towards social media nowadays, and you have figures such as Andrew Tate or Joe Rogan, who are just very, very, very anti-woman, it seems like. That's not really a good founding idea to set for our generation, and I think it is very destructive.
And I've seen so many people that I've known when I was younger, or that my family have known, and they're posting this guy who has all this money from people that our age or even worse, younger, who's hearing these hateful messaging. And it's not good for any of us.
No.
It's not.
No, it's definitely not at all. And this was a very specific point I wanted to talk to you about. I feel like whenever you lack the idea of who you are, you kind of turn towards other people a lot of the time. But with social media, of course, you are turning to people, and there are other people on the other end of the screen, but it's almost different in a way. It's almost like you're all just meeting to, I don't know, just to kind of please each other. I don't really understand it.
Well, adding on to that, one of my favorite YouTubers is Kenny Beecham. Seems like a great guy. I mean, all of his content is wholesome. He seems like a great common sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's been one of my favorite creators for the past 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's actually like. Like, I don't know. I don't really know him, and I feel like some people attach to. I'm not saying Kenny specifically because he seems like a great guy, but people attach onto these horrible, not say, regressive figureheads.
I agree, because it's so easy to just make a fake face for yourself on social media.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Founded Facebook at Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was supposed to be just on the campus, and then it spread. Towards that, there has been legal proof that he has used people's identities or their information, personal information, just selling it out.
And that he just seems like an okay dude. That's why I don't think with social media it's safe to trust anybody just at first glance.
Yeah. I feel like it's so easy to just become a figurehead, to just spout whatever nonsense you think or want other people to think is right.
It absolutely is. I also think that, in a way, social media just kind of kills ambition. I think that there is more people right now than ever, especially in my generation, our generation, that just mindlessly scroll a lot of the day. And, you know, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I wouldn't be shocked if you were guilty. I think a lot of people we go to school with can say the same about themselves. And it's just overall a really bad habit. It just wastes time. It's not productive. And you don't really feel too much better after it either. So, if anything, you feel worse. People don't look at the long term. They look at what is in front of them right now and make decisions based off of that. And it's hurtful to themselves and everybody else, honestly. And I feel like we're just kind of going backwards with history. I feel like we're kind of going back into history. I feel like that social media and everything that comes along with it just adds another layer to the struggles of our world in a way.
No, I agree. I think some of that kind of falls in with like our whole generation, like not having a purpose.
Yeah. Because that's the most important part of existentialism, is having a purpose.
Yeah.
You need a purpose, and you need to stand by what you think your purpose is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, there's rising rates of people becoming non-religious. Also, probably another part of it. I feel like our phones have just become our gods now. Really,
they're our safe space.
Yeah.
More than anything. Really, we all. I'm sure 99% of the people in your life rely on your phone throughout almost the majority of their day. They need it to call people, and they need it to text people, they need it to send out emails, they need it to catch the newest thing that you may have missed.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed it yesterday, that's okay, there's a whole new thing today.
No. There's so many trends that go through, and
that's another thing. I just don't think people know what they want.
Yeah.
I feel like that trends along with peer pressure kind of have just diluted our society into a big old mesh of, in a way, almost just one singular person.
Yeah.
But
we're all just not happy, it seems like.
Exactly. It just seems like a dystopian world that's becoming true.
Yeah.
Scroll and just, it's almost like every time you refresh the page, just like you're on a slot machine, just like, hey, will I actually be happy this time? Will I actually be happy this time? And the answer is always going to be no.
Yeah.
People just haven't really caught that yet.
It breeds addiction. I feel like we're all lost with social media.
Yeah.
Even though you can talk to your friend and be like, hey,
yeah, it doesn't really make sense, because it's only making things worse, but by all technical means, it should only be making things easier. And I think that really just speaks to a point about who we are as a society. I think we just kind of bring everything down, to be honest with you. Well, I believe that is probably about where we are going to wrap it up. So,